Hello, everybody, and we are here in the Champion Select for Game 1 between Brain Cells Mia and Mute the ADC. It is currently week 4 of Learning 5's, the very last show match of the week. I'm Nibira. I am joined once again by Meowing Cat. Meowing Cat, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
Good. People, I hope you appreciated his heartfelt hello. We're going into Champion Select here, waiting for the first ban with bated breath. And it's nothing. Now, we're going to explain that for a little bit. The teams were a little bit late, and as a result, they lost 2 bans for Pro Draft. We do this to try and keep it as efficient as possible. Trying to learn a little bit from German efficiency here, but instead of making cars, we make people lose bans. And apparently, we also lose champion selects, so hang with us for a little bit while we figure out just what is going on there. And we can actually just look at the actual pick ban because this was done on Pro Draft beforehand. So give us a second to sort of absorb what the actual pick ban was, and in the meantime I'll fill and I'll try and sound very soothing and like I know what I'm talking about, but really I have no idea and neither do you. But now that I filled for a sufficient amount of time, I've pulled up the pro draft and we can see that there was a Jace pick, Master Yi, Draven, Alistar, LeBlanc. Now I like a lot of those sounds that are coming out of my mouth. Meowing cat. How about you? I like
Yeah,
Draven.
the pick ban for this game is really interesting, especially from Brain Cells Mia. This is not their first show match, if I remember correctly, and so they're veterans heading into this one. While Mute the ADC has not played a show match before, and so they're a little more. They're going to be a little more surprised by the kind of style in which a 5v5 is played. And so, in the pro draft, Brain Cells Mia did not miss any bans, and Mute the ADC did miss their first 2 bans. Now they're just gonna ban Teemo and Volley as kind of placeholder bans, so we get through pro draft a little bit faster. I think precisely like 45 seconds faster. So
Somewhere around there, and that's
yeah,
really important to us, as we mentioned. Maokai, Rammus, Zoe bands coming out. Now, I'm a little bit confused on the Rammus band, but I'm thinking maybe it's a sort of comfort thing where they just don't really want to play against that really speedy Armadillo.
yeah, Rammus has been pretty oppressive. He always is pretty oppressive if he gets ahead, right? And into certain compositions, he is very strong, which if you look so far, you already see, the Master Yi pickup. I don't quite understand why they're not picking in order.
It's fine. We'll
Maybe
just kind of figure
okay,
it out
yeah.
as we go.
This is okay. Everything is okay here.
It's an adventure, Meowing Cat, and we're on it together, and the viewers are going to enjoy the fact that we're lost, and they're going to enjoy that we're finding our way through a pick ban maze. But there's no way out. There's no Minotaur at the end of the maze, just more pain for one team.
Yeah, well, since
Sort
they
of like
didn't
life,
really pick an order, we will touch on the champ select and just in an overarching top-down view where we see everything. We are all knowing gods. Brain cells, Brain cells Mia is not in LCS order, and so that's why we're seeing this kind of mismatch here. But what we should have seen already was the Jace pickup in the top lane. And so with the Jace, Master Yi, Draven, first 3 picks for Brain Cells Mia, you can see why they banned the Rammus.
Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of problem against the Rammus with a lot of heavy attack damage carries, especially ones that get shut down so heavily by hard CC. Master Yi especially notorious for getting just absolutely reamed by any sort of targeted CC. So the Rammus ban suddenly making a whole lot more sense, as does the Maokai ban, but that's just who wants to play against that? But I'd say the same about Ornn, which was what I Love Her picked up there for uh, the enemy team, Mute the ADC. So, meh.
Yeah, and so looking at these compositions, I mean, it is completely, Brain Cells Mia, solo queue comfort pick comp versus cookie cutter, everyone picking standard champions on the side of Mute the ADC. Looks like we're gonna have to get a re-lobby again. But Mute the ADCs, I mean, we saw, the Sejuani jungle, the Ornn top lane, Tristana AD carry, all extremely prevalent in their roles. And then Orianna, obviously, always going to be a staple pick in that mid lane. And then Bard, we do see a bit of him here and there. Even in competitive play, we see him a little bit popping up. He's just so versatile and provides so much utility. And so, you have this just kind of jumbled together comp from Brain Cells Mia with a lot of different goals in mind versus Mute the ADC with this very cohesive composition, which is excellent at team fighting, with the Sejuani to engage, with the Orin Call of the Forge Gods to engage, with a Shockwave to follow up, and then a Tristana and Bard to play in the backlines with that Orianna. That could be a scary composition. Now, they do have to be careful for the snowball of Brain Cells Mia.
Yeah, Draven and Master Yi, as well as Jace and LeBlanc, are just terrible, terrible picks if you lose the early game. But on the other hand, if you start winning the early game with those picks, suddenly the enemy team doesn't really have a lot of tools to sort of compensate for that lead you have, especially with Draven, who snowballs so hard thanks to his passive that gives him all that snowbally gold. Master Yi, who's basically an AD carry without range. And Jace is just, I mean, he's Jace. If you've ever played against him, you know how oppressive he can get. But we're going to have to see if these champion picks stay true in the next iteration of Champion Select. We'll see. It's sort of like going through patches of pick ban at this point. We're going to see maybe the meta will stay the same in this show match, and maybe it'll change. We'll find out in a few. We're going to toss it over to a break, and then we'll be back as soon as we can.
Wiser words in the young. I think we've only just begun. And as for the legend, well, I could have no better still. I just wanted you to know. I don't know where I am right now. I struggle to make it, but we got there somehow. You spend the time to get your good on just right, and I Don't you wish that you'd closed your eyes? Stolen just a bit more time. Taught yourself to never compromise. Be brave enough to try to walk the line. You ran like you were chased by wolves. Ruthless, but you still play the fool. Don't you think that you'd rather lose? Don't you think that you'd rather tear our world apart? If we found this from the start, I'd be the queen of your heart. The queen of your heart. We built our house of cards, but it feels like it's still ours. Can I be the queen of your heart? The queen of your heart. Queen of your heart. The queen of your So tell me, couldn't it be easy? Or do we always have to take?
It's time to dive into game one here between Brain Cells Mia and Mute the ADC. I hope everyone is groaning at that terrible intro as I intro the teams. I'll give you time to process it because it was a real great one, let me tell you. On the blue side, we have Brain Cells Mia with Kane Manzi in the top lane, Bartholomew Cow in the jungle this time, Fevy in that mid lane, Ancient Guy on AD carry, Liarnal on that Alistar support again.
Yeah, and on the red side, we have Mute the ADC with I Love Her in the top lane, Moeta in the jungle, Actarion in the mid lane, Vespion in AD carry, and Jaful on support.
It's gonna be a good one. We actually have things to talk about from the actual load-in screen for once, because usually all the keystones are just so
Yeah, we have
uninteresting.
keystones in game now. I love you, Riot. Thank you. They've been
It's
fixing bugs left and right for spectators. Not
still
all
haven't
of them,
fixed the
but
stutter, but you know what? I have faith. I have faith eventually
they're chipping away at it.
it'll become the new Dragon Master Swain, and that means we just have 3 more years to go, Meowing Cat, and it'll finally be fixed. And I am looking forward to that day. But
Yeah.
some interesting pickups here for the Keystones, some of which are actually interesting, and some of which are
Incorrect.
starting to become.
Or
yes,
sorry, should I say a little more iffy, a little more
Yeah, so like
questionable?
we'll start with the iffy one in the press the attack Jace.
Yes,
Now,
that
I
one
think
stands
that's
out to
iffy.
me very, very much.
I can
Um,
see sort of the logic behind it, and you'll explain why it's wrong, because that's how we work together. So the W hypercharge gives you max attack speed for 3 auto attacks, right? So if you open with that, you get all those 3 autos, and then you EQ, your Shock Blast suddenly has like 12% more damage behind it. Now, your turn to explain why that's not worth it over Electrocute or Airy.
Yeah, Airy just gives so much more poke. And, I mean, Electrocute is okay into some matchups, some squishy matchups, but normally you just want to go Airy for that poke. And running Precision, yes, you do have a little more damage if you get that W off, but then you can't just go for one auto here or there, and you can't just go for that EQ immediately, or just go for a Q. You have to go all in for that. And another thing, you get attack speed. You don't need more attack speed. You're already going to be getting that attack speed cap. So it's just not really efficient. Something I'm a little intrigued by, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just interested in it, is the Lethal Tempo Master Yi. That one really has me watching out for it.
I actually really like that pickup as someone who has played a lot of Master Yi in the very illustrious game mode known as ARAM. I've found that while Fleet Footwork does give you a little bit of sustain, Press the Attack is kind of okay. You have that E Wuju style, which gives you the true damage on auto attacks after it's been activated, and with Lethal Tempo, you're able to proc that a lot more often, And Master Yi usually builds similar to an AD carry with a lot of crit and attack speed. So with that lethal tempo, you're going to be hitting the attack speed cap or higher since it uncaps it for you. It's also able to proc a lot more often than something like Press the Attack would be able to. And Fleet Footwork just in the jungle for some champions works, but Yi can kind of survive without it, so I understand going this more offensively oriented route. But speaking of Fleet Footwork, we have Sejuani taking that, and I know we're not talking about the lanes, guys. They're boring. You can see them, nothing's happening. Anyways, Fleet Footwork on Moeda's Sejuani. Now, why don't you go in and explain this? I think I have a little bit of the reasons. Like, I see the outline of the reasoning, which is sustain and move speed.
Yeah,
But
so
can you fill in? Can you color in the drawing for me? Stay inside the lines as best you can, but we all make.
I'm gonna
mistakes.
scribble everywhere. There's gonna be red lipstick all over the lips of Sejuani's boar.
Ooh,
But
I'm intrigued.
the
Go
fleet
on.
footwork on junglers. The thing with it is junglers used to.
Oh, hold on, there's
a
some
little bit
fight
of trading in the
bot
bot
lane.
lane.
Ancient guy, not quite gonna get the kill into Vespion. Continue.
Yeah, so a lot of damage there, but the fleet footwork, it gives a lot of sustain in the jungle, right? With the healing, no other keystone really helps you clear at all, and so it makes your clear a little more healthy. It also gives a little bit of movement speed sometimes, which can, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But
Ooh,
oh, the
lane's
top lane
crafty.
though.
Nice interrupt there. On the To the Skies. Ooh, I love her getting really low. Whew. So you're saying Fleet Footwork is a thing on junglers because
Yeah,
sustain
and
clear.
okay, here's the thing. Jace doesn't really need attack speed. However, a lot of junglers used to run attack speed runes when they're playing tank junglers like Gragas, like Sejuani, and that's why they got attack speed in the changes for the rune update. But attack speed still does benefit them, and it does increase their clear speed substantially compared to extra health by going in the resolve tree.
Now, we can't, I don't think, look at it right now. I'm going to try and find out. But would you suspect that this is Legend Alacrity or Legend Tenacity on the Sejuani here?
Ooh, I'm thinking it. If I had to take a guess, I'd say tenacity, or it is actually alacrity. I mean, there isn't too much CC that you can remove or
Ooh.
prevent. The Alistar E and the LeBlanc chains are the only things that I can think of.
That is the only
A few
hard-
slows here and there. On Jace, I believe Draven E has a slow added to it as well, but that's the only hard CC. So, I mean, it does make sense that not too much CC means that he's just opting into more attack speed so he can clear a little bit more. I don't think it's necessarily wrong here.
Okay. Nice. So we've figured that out. We've solved a little bit of a puzzle of this game. And the real puzzle
something-
right now.
If we want to stay on that Sejuani, actually,
Oh,
we can just double in all the way in on her runes. She's running Triumph, which is kind of expected. Coup de Grace, which is also expected. But something interesting is she went for Inspiration and went for Futures Market and Approach Velocity.
oh. Hold on. Scrap in the top lane coming out. The Ornn ultimate has been used at this point, but will he get the double proc onto KMNZ? He will not. He misses it. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, an engage from Yarnell is going to go nowhere. And, yeah, so about those Sejuani runes.
Well,
Futures Market,
Kane
what
Man,
do
I
you
want to
think
touch on
about
that fight really fast before we get back to Sejuani. Kane Man actually knocked I Love Her away from his ultimate, so he couldn't go for that second recast. Really good usage of that Jace Hammer E. I wanted to point that out really quickly, that he played that really well on that Jace. But yeah, back on the Sejuani. So those runes, I really like Approach Velocity. I love that rune. Oh my gosh.
Yes, you do. I have heard many a tale of the Approach Velocity Scion, and I've seen it. It was actually a highlight of one of our casts yesterday, when the support Scion versus support Shen matchup came up. Ooh, top lane matchup, speaking of, getting a little bit spicy here. That hypercharge coming in hot, but the auto not quite enough to take out I Love Her, surviving with just a sliver of health. And the
Oh, look at the
Vest
minimap.
first
Hey,
item.
look at this roam from Ecterion in the bot lane.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's also Sejuani looking for the lane gank. This could be a 4-man bot lane.
I'm
I Love Her
pretty
doesn't
sure
have
Moeta
TP,
just
so it
got
won't be
seen.
5, but
Okay, they're deciding against it. Moeta trying to stay in that brush for a little bit longer, but I don't think the gank is actually going to go off here. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
actually, really smart adaptation from Bartholomew Cow. Knowing that Moeta is there on the bottom side of the map, he's going to invade that red buff. I love good jungle pathing because I can't do it. And that's an example of it. You know, you see your enemy on the other side of the map, go away from them, and Acterion getting ignited and comboed up here by Fevy, but Fevy flashing away from that shockwave, but no, the shock of seeing a stopwatch was enough to kill him. Eating 2 tower shots there. That was quite a fight. Ancient Guy getting stunned up here in the bot lane. The combo going down onto Vespion. Liarnal popping the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. It's not keeping his AD carry alive. Flashing out into the Tempered Fate. Vespion and Liarnal both in a little bit of trouble. Cosmic Binding not going to get the stun, but it is going to get the slow. Can Liarnal make it out? I don't see any reason why he can't. 1 kill goes down for Vespion to take the 2nd kill for his team. That mid lane 1v1 was... I want to say that was the post-mortem for this mid lane matchup, because let's take stock of that real quick. Orianna is up a kill. Sure, whatever. Kills can be taken back. But what can't really be taken back as easily is that nearly 30 CS lead. 27 CS up there for Acterion. And that is just... Look, I know farming on Assassins is really tempting to not do because you like killing people more, but when you see this kind of gold lead, we're going to actually do the math here for a second. Looks like about an 800 gold lead in that mid lane. That's almost an entire lost chapter, I believe. Lost chapter is 850,
900 gold.
900. So it's a little bit shy of a lost chapter from just not farming. And the 1 kill. But
I've shadowed this team, and Acterion on the mid lane is very consistent. I mean, he puts up very good results for this team on a regular basis. And so it's definitely... It was scary to see that, you know, their kind of staple mid laner, who they kind of rely on, was almost about to get solo killed, but instead making the clutch play.
The dive in by Vespion. Will it be enough to get the kill? The Buster Shot knocking him away, and he gets the kill. Meanwhile, Ancient Guy has fallen, and so will K-Man Z. That is a terrible cross-map result for Brain Cells Mia, really living up to their name here in this early game, and that is something that you really don't like to see, but I love to say because their name is just so fun.
Yeah, and this feels really, really bad for that early snowball composition. I mean, you wouldn't think that, you know, Tristana Bard would beat Alistar Draven early game, right? I mean, obviously Bard has decent early game pressure, but Tristana's is not amazing at all. And Alistar Draven burst damage is insane. And through that early lead, 2 kills for the Tristana, a little behind in CS still, but now gets that kill lead, you know, which will give a 500 gold lead over to her, as well as that Ocean Drake towards that team. I mean, that's really good, and not something you want to see for a Master Yi, a Jace, a LeBlanc, a Draven, you know? Even Alistar, too. All of them really want to burst their targets. They need to stay ahead of the curve of their opponents.
Yeah, the only thing they're staying ahead of the curve in is that bottom lane CS, but when down 2 kills on that Draven, really... a 6 CS lead is absolutely meaningless, which is so unfortunate for them because it's so hard for them to claw their way back from this. Yes.
Yeah, and it's even worse that it's on the Draven, the deaths, because when Draven dies, he will lose 75% of his stacks. And so he only has 38 Adoration stacks right now because of those 2 deaths. And that really does hurt him, because even if he does get a kill, he's going to get substantially less gold because of dying.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the composition kind of falling apart here. Brain Cells Mia going for that gank. Bartholomew Cow did his best to look scary on Master Yi, but when you have no CC of your own and your laner is down 30 CS and a kill, there's not a whole lot of posturing you can do that will make you look like anything other than a very, very juicy melee minion. So they're going to have to find a way to counter this, and I don't know if they'll be able to. I love her with that hyperscaling Ornn, eating a little bit of damage here in the top lane. Oh, he's going in with the Call of the Forge God, going to get the knockup, going to get the Brittle proc, and he might be able to get the kill here onto Kane Man. Not quite, but gets him incredibly low. Fevy, meanwhile, in the mid lane, almost died there in that engage, and we're just seeing this team fall apart, which is really unfortunate for them, but on the other hand, you know, you could not ask for a better start for Mute the ADC. They have that incredibly well-scaling Ornn who puts out so much CC in those team fights. You have Sejuani, who is one of the very few classes people you can call a hyper tank class champion who just scales so well. Acterion almost getting sold by Bartholomew Cow. He is gonna die. Good lord. I expected nothing to come of that. Well, that's how they're gonna claw their way back into it. The solo kills from the jungler onto the mid laner.
Yeah,
Don't
that
expect
Master
it
Yi
to happen
has...
again. Meanwhile, solo kill from the top laner from the enemy team is about to happen. Kane Man so low. Will I love her be able to get the Q? Oh, Eing in, using the W, not able to get it.
That is really unfortunate that Jace gets away with a sliver of HP. Looked like about 20 or so at the end of that fight. So that is so close. Just a tick from that bellowing breath on that Ornn W would have been the difference. That's stun
How was
connecting the
that
bot
a
lane though.
stun?
Oh.
I mean, the stun going down onto Ancient Guy, totally legitimate looking.
Yeah, we do see a roam though from
Caster
mid lane.
bias, hold on. Engage going down onto Vespion. The ultimate coming out. The Whirling Death not going to be enough to take a much of Vespion's health at all. Teleport being canceled there. Four-man dive looked so good, and then that great Tempered Fate from Jaful was enough to completely stunt every part of that engage. So well done by them. But, you know, I was spending so much time talking about how good Mute the ADC's early game was for them. Mentioning, you know, we have a hyper tank in the jungle, we have a hyper carry in the bot lane, and we have that great mid lane mage in Orianna. But something I neglected to mention was Bartholomew Cow on this Master Yi is actually incredibly ahead right now. 38 CS. We see an engage going down the top lane. No, we don't. Never mind. I lied to you. I'm sorry. 38 CS lead, 2 kill lead. He is up about 1,800 gold at this point, which is pretty significant. Oh, another engage going down. This top lane just cannot stop fighting. Kaneman on the wrong side of the fight at this point. He's going to try and get out with that move speed. He's able to. Fevy coming up for the gank, as is Bartholomew Cal. Looks like they're going to dive under the tower and maybe try and get this first brick here. Kaneman trying to get the kill, not able to with that shock blast. I love her. Wants to get the execute, I think, but Alpha Strike and a Q from LeBlanc are going to be enough to tidy that up. Bot lane tower about half health. It looks like a possible dive coming in from Moeda. Yarnell possibly suspecting this coming in, but no, the gank from behind. Ancient Guy is going to fall. The ultimate going wide from Moeda, but it doesn't matter. Yarnell getting hit by that shockwave and the cosmic binding, and ultimately falling for it, as will this tower here. Kaneman Z not quite able to take it beforehand, but he might be able to get it here in the top lane in a few. Nope. It is only at half health.
Yeah, it might eventually go down, but it is going to take quite a while. And in that meantime, you see the invade into the bottom side red buff from Mute the ADC, and very appropriate response from them. They see the 3-man top lane that opens. Oh, look at this chase though.
You
What?
didn't want that. Never follow a bard on his magical journey if he has more than anyone with him, because you will die like that.
I think the only people that would like that magical journey are the people that want journeys to prison as well.
Perfect. Let's
That
look at
was
the CS leads again,
questionable.
because- yeah, a little bit.
Questionable.
A little bit. The CS
Um,
lead in mid lane has also gotten completely out of hand at this point, and this is, I'll call it assassin syndrome, but in my personal experience, the only assassin I play in the mid lane is LeBlanc, so I call it Niberia syndrome. You just neglect farming for these trades, and you think maybe this will be the kill that gets me the gold back. Maybe this will be the kill that gets me enough pressure to start farming normally again, when really the whole time you need to be keeping up that farm. Now 50 CS behind at 16 minutes. That's ridiculous. That's like a bronze to challenger CS differential. And meanwhile, getting killed in the mid lane 1 in 3 now, it is just looking so bad for Fevy.
Yeah,
Not putting enough priority on the farm, putting too much on the fighting, and not winning any of the fights, more importantly than that priority.
yeah, and Fevy, I mean, maybe just looking desperate for farm there gets really punished. We do see the Infernal Drake started up. Now, Bartholomew Cow is within range to Flash Smite. If he so commits to it, it does not look like he will.
Whirling Death, not quite
Ooh.
able to take it, but that was... Whew.
Yeah, that
We've
was
seen less likely steals.
Yeah. I mean, we even saw it in LCS, you know, the TSM game yesterday. I remember there were some questionable smites from Mike Young. But it's okay. They won their game today. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, it was better today. You know, that's all it takes. Explosive charge.
Oh.
Not gonna be enough to take out the tower. Bartholomew Cow engaging though. He's gonna be able to take out the AD carry, but will he fall on the backside? No. His Highlander doing so much for him. They get 3 kills out of nowhere, and that's what this comp had been waiting for this whole time. Once they're grouped up, they still had enough burst damage despite the lead that the enemy team has on them. Bartholomew Cow is quickly turning out to be the only one on this team who can create any sort of pressure and kills on the map. I love her. Gonna find out real quick how strong this Master Yi is. Flashes over the wall. Great play from him. Call of the Forge God coming out. He might be able to get the brittle proc. Looks like he did land it, but directed camera doesn't care. The shockwave going down, an ancient guy falling. Ooh. Ooh, Bartholomew Cow. Oh no.
Triumph.
Alpha? Hello? That was awesome.
Triumph
Dude.
is fun.
Triumph and Alpha Strike finally
Oh
making a
my.
play together. Alpha Strike no longer denying kills, denying deaths, just doing its best to keep the Yi player alive for the first time since its inception. That was...
Yeah, that was a big swing in that mid lane fight up to the top lane. Bartholomew Cow is extremely fed on this Mastery. Octarion did get a good save in that mid lane. The solo kill onto Ancient Gaia, 1v3, I believe. Liarnal and Fevi were right next to him, so just getting that pick on the Draven, who was slightly overextended, really well played. But Octarion was in that bot lane, you know, clearing out a wave while that mid lane exchange went on in the first place, and Vespion and Jaful, with Moeta there, not strong enough to 3v5 and needed to be a little more respectful, especially since I Love Her wasn't anywhere in a position to follow up, and same for Octarion.
KMNZ going in. His jungler is soon to follow. Highlander has been popped at this point. Vespion getting popped there in a second. Bartholomew Cow trying to follow. He gets the... Ooh, he gets the kill through the Tempered Fate. Oh my god, that Alpha Strike was incredible. Bartholomew Cow barely surviving at this point. He's using the meditate to try and save some time. That Alpha Strike was awesome, but not enough to save him. Bartholomew Cow is playing his poor little heart out on this Master Yi. We see now why they picked it. It sounds like such a terrible pick, but when you can play it like that, suddenly it doesn't seem so bad. Bartholomew Cow doing his best to keep his team afloat. 5-1-3 now, up 2.5 thousand gold over his jungle opponent, and he's their last shot at staying in this game at this point. It's all on his shoulders, and that's not a position you really want to be in. But if you're going to be in that position, Master Yi is a great champion to do it on, especially with his build so AD and attack speed heavy, just able to pop Vespion so quickly. Really fun
Yeah.
to watch.
Oh, look at this top lane. Moeta in a position to potentially follow up here. We have to watch out for Kaneman Z. He is going to get the flank around. Moeta getting a
Kaneman in
wraparound.
a lot of trouble. Brittle proc going down, and it looks like Moeta is going to get the kill here. Ooh.
Kaneman dropping the flash too. Using that summoner there. And then fail flashing. I don't even think he could have gotten away. Moeta still did have the Arctic Assault to follow up over that wall. So even if you do flash out, there is still going to be that glacial the Glacial Prison, the Sejuani ultimate. There's still going to be the Arctic Assault, so she can queue over that wall, follow you. Worst case scenario, Moeta has to flash after you. I mean, I don't think you want to blow the Jace flash at that point.
No, little ill-advised, we'll call that. Pretty unfortunate to see for Brain Cells Mia, but on the other hand, Mute the ADC, as much as that Yi is scary, their whole team is a lot scarier. If they can shut down this Yi at any point in these team fights, possibly using that Glacial Prison you mentioned earlier, suddenly the rest of the team will melt like butter. Bartholomew Cow is the only threat for Brain Cells Mia, and he either has to transfer this lead or just put on his carry pants. He's going in 1v2 at this point. He nearly kills Vespion already, and he's going for it. He gets 2 ults blown for him, and that would be an overuse in any other situation, but he is literally his team at this point, so it doesn't matter. Glacial Prison, Shockwave, they're just tools to kill Master Yi at this point, and that's the way they can play it.
Yeah, Baron being started. Very aggressive call, but with that jungler dead, this might be, you know, a risk that they want to take. No
They're just gonna
vision
get it.
means that they should get this uncontested. I Love Her does have the teleport and is in that ball lane creating side lane pressure. Really good macro play here, and is actually going to secure them a free Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all they need to do is shut down the Yi and then make whatever play they want, because nobody can stop them. They can win any fight with just the damage from Vespion and Actarion. K-Man Z trying to stop I Love Her here on the bot lane, but
Oh, I Love Her's dead. Look at this minimap. There are 5 people coming for this Ornn.
oh no, Ornn, you might be able to make it. Oh, you're so toast.
Yeah, and with that, Infernal Drake is up in 11 seconds. That is not great because while, yes, you do have a Baron buff still, Infernal Drake is extremely valuable for that 4 damage threat comp on the side of Brain Cells Mia. And so, if Master Yi can get this, you know, if LeBlanc can get this, they can potentially get strong enough that they can still one-shot carries.
Absolutely, it's so powerful on Draven and Jace as well. This is a great pickup for them. Brain Cells Mia having a chance at getting back into this game off a great objective take in response to that Baron. But will it be enough to counteract this Baron buff? We just can't
Yeah,
really say at this point.
I mean, here's the thing about Dragon. Infernal Drake becomes so valuable once you start getting more and more damage, right? An 8% ability power and attack damage buff is extremely strong. And if they can withhold the siege in the mid lane, they scale so much stronger now. It might even be better than getting a Baron because that Infernal Drake is just so good with their composition.
Liarnal having to use that Unbreakable Will in that short little skirmish. It's a cooldown you really want to save. Bartholomew Cow is really deep in the enemy jungle, and I'm almost tempted to say whatever. Like, he sees the entire enemy team, he has the quadrants around him warded up, including that dragon pit. Hey, free blue buff is a free blue buff. Going for that eye edge at this point, possibly able to pop some people still. I know that Vespion will be under threat. Acterion, oh my god, that was an incredible engage from Liarnal going in. Meanwhile, on the side, Acterion is getting picked off by Kane Man Z. Not quite dead yet. Liarnal dying for his efforts, but the great engage will be enough to get Bartholomew Cow on the enemy team. He's not going to be able to get anything more than 1 kill at this point, and he gets taken down by Vespion. What looked like such a great engage turned in so few seconds.
Yeah. A bit of a late exhaust from Jaful onto Bartholomew Cow, but still enough to shut him down finally. I would have liked to see the Tempered Fate used in that fight on the backline and then try to turn there. I think that if they Temper Fate hit 2-3 people in that backline from Brain Cells Mia, oh the Forge God.
For an ultimate, will it be enough? He gets the stun down onto Ancient Guy, and he is history.
Yeah, and it really does look like a well-oiled machine versus the solo carry of Bartholomew Cow. I mean, this Master Yi is doing work, but it is a one-man show. They are trying to play around him. Fevy Flames Dark, you know, playing very kind of support damage, right? Poking away, whittling them down, setting up for the Master Yi resets. Alistar going for that Knight's Vow, probably going to bind onto that Master Yi. We'll have to wait and see about that, but that is really, they really do need to put all their cookies into one basket. And, I mean, Master Yi needs to get that cookie to Granny's house, but the big bad wolf of Mute the ADC is just showing up really big and strong this game.
Here's the problem. You say they need to put all the cookies in that one basket, but the problem with that is the cookies are shit at fitting into baskets. Sorry, excuse my language. But they're not going to be able to do anything to help out this Master Yi. There's no utility built into the kits of any of these champions. Whereas on the other team, Mute the ADC, you have the shield from Orianna, which could even combo with an Ardent Sensor if things were looking that bleak. Jaful has the heals, he has the stuns and all that. But really, all that Brain Cells Mia has as a team, other than Liarnal, is just flat damage and some interrupts. There's not a whole lot they can do to enable this Master Yi, and it's just really biting them in the rear at this point because they need, as you said, to put all the eggs in the Bartholomew Cow basket. But they can't. There's nothing to put in. They have nothing in terms of utility. Knight's Vow, sure. Whatever. The enemy team has Locket, they have Redemption, they have heals, they have stuns, they have shockwaves, they have stuns, they have more stuns. Did I mention they have stuns? Because they have a lot of those. And you know what's really good against Master Yi? Stuns. Oh, great engage going down. Ancient Guy is in a lot of trouble getting popped there real quickly, and this could be an inhibitor take at this point. I don't see any way that this can be stopped unless Bartholomew Cow gets some sort of madman flank, but man down for 30 seconds. There's not a whole lot they can do. Fevy trying to go in, gets the Q onto a few people, but it does no damage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Kane Man, a lot of trouble. Larnell trying his best to peel for that Jace, but he's going to die for it despite that Unbreakable Will going down. Vespion getting that kill and getting another double kill for Vespion here in this base. I love her just going ham. Bartholomew Cow going to do his best to take him out, but it looks like the Shockwave is going to take him out. Febby in a lot of trouble, but not quite dead yet. I love her in the same position, but he does have that Warmogs in just... Unfortunate. This is just really not good for Brain Cells Mia. They're in a lot of trouble here. There is almost no way they can hold 3 men down. Looks like it's going to be 4. Febby Flames Darks falling there, as does the final Nexus Tower. And it looks like they will take the Nexus for the victory in Game 1. And that was just a really sad game for Brain Cells Mia on a lot of levels, which is something I generally don't like to say, but really their composition had not a whole lot of synergy unless they all got ahead in the early, like, pre-6 levels, and they didn't. They didn't get a lead. In fact, you may even say that they lost a lead, because that's exactly what happened, as it turns out. And they just could not recover. That CS differential in the mid lane was too much. Acterion was making plays left and right on his opposing laner on the AD carry at 1.1v3. There was nothing anyone could do to stop him. I love her doing his best to fight that Jace, prevent that early pressure. Moeta was just there as a tank, and that's all he needed to do, while Vespion and Acterion put out the damage and Jafful put out the CC. So hopefully Brain Cells Mia can switch things up again. What would you like to see more out of their composition based on this game? Do you think they should play around Bartholomew Cow more, for example?
Yeah, so I don't know if that Master Yi will get left up Game 2. We might see a Master Yi ban. I would not be surprised at all. I do think that they really do need to focus their composition in a little more. Just picking, 3 snowballing champions on the same comp with a jungler who wants to just farm up and become a late game threat is not really an efficient strategy, I feel. And so they really do need to focus in on what, their win conditions will be for the next game, because picking 4 bad win conditions isn't as good as 1 good one.
Yeah, that's about all there is to it. Great game, played well by Mute the ADC, but Brain Cells Mia could have mitigated a lot of that in Champion Select, so we'll see how they adjust going into Game 2. Stick with us.
Psycho reasons fuel my game, hunt me down, find out blame, cloud stainless, wired clear in the sun, my own time, hold your breath, you're the only one I see. Breathe me in, taste your lips, you're the only high I need. I'm losing control, your eyes entice me. Just letting go, your hold is tightening. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over. I feel you taking over. Take me high, break me down, you're the flashing lights I see. Catch my soul, lose my mind, you're the only trip I need. I'm losing control, your eyes entice me. Just letting go, your hold is tightening. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over.
Hello, everybody, and I'm sorry to announce that we're in Champion Select for Game 2. I'm not sorry at all. I lied to everyone to try and get you hype as I am about this second game between Brain Cells Mia and Mute the AD Carry. You may notice when reading these names on the screen, wait a minute, I don't recognize half of these. Well, we've had some subs, so don't worry about it too much. Bartholomew Cow is now back on AD Carry as he was the Showmatch the other time he showed up, and C9 Evil JW is subbing in for jungle. So we've had a little bit of a mix up, but we're going to pretend everything's the same and okay. It's sort of like if you thought one of your family members was replaced with an alien and you didn't want to get probed and you're just like, hey, mom. So yeah, anyways, champion select, right, Meow and Cat? Like that's the thing we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. We'll walk it off. Looking at the bans already, we do see some changes coming in from last game, which are kind of expected. We do see the same Zoe and Rammus ban. This game, we see the Bard ban against Jaful. Now, Jaful has 55 games played this season in ranked, and let me check. 55 Bard games.
Interesting.
Yeah. Another thing is Liarnil does only play Alistar so far this season in ranked. So
And in
it is
showmatches.
interesting to see that they are going to leave the Alistar up, but it was not picked up. So a
Now
bit
that's
interesting
really
from both
interesting.
teams. I'm not sure what the thought process was, but I mean, Alistar definitely would work with Mia's composition. We do see it already unfolding. We see the Jace, Jax, and Orianna. Imagine if you had an Alistar with that, right?
Man, that sounds like it'd be a really good combination, Meowing Cat.
Yeah. We get something else, not quite an Alistar. A little bit different, just a little bit.
Just
But
slightly.
Akali in the top lane from I Love Her.
Ooh, the TF Blade Jr. special coming out. Wait a minute. Yasuo Akali, is this my promo games?
Hopefully
Well,
not played like it for ADC.
we'll find
Mute
out.
ADC.
Is this like your games earlier today when you had Zyra AD carry? I really hope so, because that would be really cool to see in a show match.
We're not gonna get Desire ADC. It looks more like
But we
your
are going to
promo
get
games.
Zaya. So it's like the same, right?
They both have hard CC with their E, right?
Perfect. Look, we've already found the connection. Please tell me that's a hover.
Yeah, it's a hover. It's not
Okay,
gonna be
thank
locked
you.
in. We do get the very solo queue-esque team
Oh.
comp, so they're just doubling down, going all in on it. They're like, okay, how can we make this as solo queue as possible? Akali top lane, Yasuo mid lane, Vayne AD carry. They do take the Rakan to kind of
That's very
gift
not
wrap the
solo.
whole composition. I do kind of like this. In a weird way, they are very, very strong. Now, Liarnil does play the Janna here, which will have some good responses to that team. But still, if they're not careful, the quickness on the Rakan into his W could set up for a very big Yasuo ultimate. And then at that point, you have Sejuani, Akali, Vayne to follow up. You have a lot of damage on that composition, and you can easily 100-0 that entire team, bar maybe the Jax. So it's going to be really interesting to see if those picks are going to come out from that Rakan.
Yeah, now, would you say it's a fair characterization to say that these teams have sort of swapped team comp identities, or do you think that this composition is actually a lot more cohesive than it looks on one side and not as much on the other one? Because I feel like the Jax and Jace together leaves you with no clear, necessarily hard engage, because we've seen Jax jungle before, we've seen Camille jungle before, so we've seen these sort of top lane reject bruisers, as Hishinshin is sure to inform us about, in the jungle. But without that sort of tanky or hard engage, are they going to have some problems with these fights against this, well, kind of squishy killer team?
Yeah, and I really think that I would have liked to see the Alistar here. Akali does peel very well against, or sorry, the Janna does peel Akali, Rakan, Yasuo very well. But at the same time, no real engage. And Alistar does have decent counter engage as well, or disengage. With that headbutt, he can just knock someone away. With that pulverize, if Yasuo or Akali just dash in without being careful, without waiting for that Alistar to waste his cooldowns, they could get immediately CC'd. And so without that, yes, you do have some ways to knock them away with the monsoon, with the tornado, but you don't have any real engage. So Alistar would kind of cover both of the bases, the disengage and the engage, while Janna is purely disengaged. And while better at disengage, no engage on this team means that you really are reliant on that Jax going in with the counter strike into a shockwave.
Yeah. So I expect them to have a little bit of engaging problems, but maybe they'll get engaged on by the team with the better engage from Sejuani and the follow up from Rakan, and then Akali can jump in with her Shadow Dash. So they actually, ironically, have better engage. Even with the Yasuo, he can ult in off of Sejuani's charge, which is some weird, actually almost cohesive synergy, which I really actually I dig this.
It
It's
does
not
matter because an Arctic Assault into that mid lane does mean, a pretty reliable gank setup for Moeda and Acterion.
I'm excited to see it play out in actual fights because this could be one of those compositions that on paper looks kind of weird and bizarre, but still at the same time ends up working. Vayne can even knock up with Condemn, well, displace. So we'll see if that actually plays out. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have, I guess, what is sort of like a bursty kill them before they kill you on the engage composition, because Zaya and Janna are very good at kiting back. So maybe that's what they'll use to try and win these fights. But we're going to have to go into a quick break and we'll see how that works out in a few minutes. Stick around.
Always be there for you, my friend. After all we've been through, will this light lead me to you? I can't stay here one more day. I swear to you, I'm not afraid. Through the wind chimes, through the bells, I would carry you through hell. Knowing that I hear my name with arms starting the games. Call me now, 'cause I can barely breathe. Oh, I can feel you chanting lively. I can feel that music in me. We were born just to believe.
Hello, thank you for waiting for that incredibly long, like 30 seconds. That was an awesome turnaround time. I'm Niberia. I'm still joined by Meow and Cat, and we are here in game 2 between Brain Cells Mia and Mute the AD Carry. We don't have to intro the team, so let's just think a little bit about what they're packing. We have 3 Fleet Footworks on the side of Mute the ADC, and that's kind of cool in its own way. We have 2 Press the Attacks for Brain Cells Mia on champions that they actually make sense on. And that's actually also really cool. Kane Manzi opting for the more traditional, well, slightly more traditional Electrocute in this top lane matchup against the Akali. How do you think that'll play out? Do you think Aerie would have been better in this situation?
Yeah, so I did mention last game on the Jace, Press the attack, not my cup of tea. Airy does give good poke, but Electrocute does help all-inning against squishies. Akali is a squishy, and this is one of the matchups where Electrocute can help with the all-ins against her, and it will suck if he falls behind because that means he has no more poke because not having the Airy, but it will mean that it is a little bit easier for him to get that lead and be able to 100-0 the Akali if he does get ahead.
So maybe it'll happen this time. Maybe finally the lane dominance will come out against this Akali, but on the other hand, if you caught that Electrocute at the wrong time, you're kind of out of the running for 100-0ing someone for another 60 seconds, which is one of the things that a lot of people don't really mention playing around. Because, first of all, let's be real, you really kind of can't. It's a difficult timing window to play around because when you engage in these short trades that assassins are known for, the people who want to take Electrocute are going to want to do these small engages with at least 3 hits because you want to get your combo out. But
Yeah, and
it's the timing.
quick thing, speaking of trading, Rakan in this bot lane, going for the ancient coin. I'm not a huge fan of the item, honestly. I think that everyone buys it on supports that they shouldn't be buying it on. If you look at, pro builds or just at high level solo queue or, competitive play, Rakan always goes for that spell thief. It gives him extra damage, extra poke with that Q, extra sustain, extra everything, even survivability because of the AP ratio on his passive, the shield. So really, I mean, you can play passive going for this build, yes, but do you really want to be doing that on Rakan?
Could it be a sort of access issue where he thinks he's not going to be able to get poked down onto that well, we see that that's not an actual issue at this point. A little bit of damage going down on the Bartholomew account. Meanwhile, Moeta in a lot of trouble here. Febby coming up for the roam on top of C9. The flash auto going to take out Moeta for first blood. Sub jungler doing what he does best apparently, and that's killing pigs riding boars.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see the jungler last game for Brain Cells Mia did get ahead. It wasn't enough to win them the game, but it wasn't a first blood, and maybe now this might be enough for them.
A little bit of a trade going down in the mid lane. That is a huge CS differential. Forget CS differential at 10. CS differential at 3 minutes and 30 seconds was about 10 there. Yasuo, should he be doing this well in this lane?
Yeah, it is a 6 CS lead for the Yasuo, which is kind of a bit too much for comfort. Febby Flames Darks really needs to be picking up that CS a little bit more. Although he's getting bullied pretty hard by this Yasuo. Tyrion showing pretty decent showing on this mid lane.
Nice. That was pretty good.
Acterion did have to burn the flash in that mid lane. We do see it in the top lane, Moeta looking for a gank, going all the way around, but does get the flank onto Kane Manzi, who will try to trade in for a kill, but doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Oh, the flash thundering blow. Moeta, you got styled on, son. What you doing? That was really nice to watch. We just saw 2 great gank escapes in a row, 2v1. Acterion getting away with that sweeping blade, and Kane Manzi getting away with the flash thundering blow. It's just... that sucks if you're a jungler in this game right now, because you just got screwed one way or another.
Oh, and look at Moeta again in the mid lane. She's coming up behind.
Again, going behind. Oh! Flashing away from that assault from Moeta. So, 2 flashes burned for Moeta now. Has the advantage in everything except kills over his enemy jungler, which is, to be fair, a fairly important thing to be ahead on. But not a whole lot going on now. We see the CS lead in both mid and AD carry positions for the ADC at this point, which is actually kind of surprising to me. Febby Flames Dark in a little bit of trouble here. Acterion taking a tower shot that I'm sure he didn't mean to.
Yeah, that tower shot's going to lower that health in the mid lane, make it a little more even. But Febby Flames Darks is getting very, very bullied in this matchup. And that's even more interesting because it's a TP Yasuo mid, right? He opted into that late game summoner. I mean, it does have some effects in this early game. He can recall and immediately TP back to lane. So if he's getting bullied, if he's getting forced out of lane by the Jax, he can immediately come back But that's not the case, and so Ignite maybe could have, helped secure a kill already at this point. But TP definitely gonna open up some options in that mid to late game with the possibility of a 1-3-1 split push.
This bot lane right here, I'm just kind of confused. I know that doesn't segue well at all out of what you were saying, but I am just so confused, Meowing Cat. Why does this Vayne have a 12 CS lead against the Xayah Janna? Should this be happening? Because I feel like Rakan gets sort of denied completely by Janna's Howling Gale on the engages. We haven't quite seen it happen yet, which might explain a little bit, but I don't think Vespion's Vayne will have that strong of an early game. Am I
Yeah,
wrong on that assessment?
Grand Entrance does not get cancelled by the Howling Gale of Janna.
Oh.
However, Janna can play very aggressively into Rakan with her Zephyr, but she went for Emax first, which means she will be able to prevent a little bit of that burst damage from the Grand Entrance, from that Rakan going in. But she has no laning pressure right here with that Janna. I mean, if she walks up, look at that Zephyr damage, which is almost nothing compared to, the decent chunks of poke damage she'd be doing if she went 3, even just 2 points in W.
Yeah, and we're seeing the consequences of that decision right now with that CS lead on the Vayne, which is really just not boding well for the late game here, because Vayne, everyone really knows her as that one hyper carry that can totally screw over a game if she gets ahead, and she's just being allowed to essentially free farm at this point. No harass, as you said, coming from the Janna that does any significant amount of damage. Whoa! I love her taking a little bit of harass in the top lane there. But
Oh, and this could be horrible. Moeta possibly
Tyrion with the knock up into the ultimate, the last breath coming out, but will it be Fevi's? I don't think it is. He gets out with just a sliver of health, having to burn that barrier, and Acterion only having to use ultimate for that, which is fairly short cooldown relatively, so if Fevi's not careful, that's going to happen again.
Yeah. And so the reason that I had attention up in the top lane right before that mid lane was going down was because Moedo is looking for a gank, but C9 Evil JW was right near this Krugs, and so if Moeta did go for a gank, that would have been horrible considering how low I Love Her was in health, and maybe that's why Moeta didn't try to force it too hard, because if a counter gank did come out there, that could have been an 0 for 2 trade, and that would have been horrible for the side of Mute the ADC.
Now, what do you think Moeta should be doing here right now? Because one of my concerns here is that this Akali is just getting absolutely stomped here in CS. 20 CS down at 8 minutes. Really not a good look, and this is how we'd expect this matchup to go. But Moeta has 2 winning lanes, so you focus on that losing lane. Meanwhile, we have Gage going down between Moeta and Evil JW. Moeta having to flash away, but will he survive against Fevi's QW? Fevi going for the W, not quite able to get the Q yet. Acterion might be able to go in for the re-engage here. Oh! What? What? Well, Flash and Shockwave burned, able to get nothing off that. Kind of unfortunate. Vespion and Jaful roaming up. I don't think I like that play from anyone.
It was a questionable fight overall. It's just
Uh-oh.
let's just move on. Let's just move on from it.
Okay.
Moeta
Moeta's dying
getting
to
really
red
low
buff.
to the right. Does have smite up. Might have to use it. Moeta, you can smite it to get health back.
It's fine. Nobody will make fun of you. We will make fun of you if you die to it. No, we won't. We're nice.
Moeta,
people
don't do it.
sometimes.
Okay.
Moeta, don't broken
Smite's
shard.
at the end.
Oh, I love her. It's about to just get popped in one shot here. Okay, there it is. It's like playing a weird game of murderous whack-a-mole for a second. It's like, oh, I'm over here now. I'm over here. I'm over. And that was the end of the fight. Which,
Yeah. And I mean, that electric chase, that is what we wanted to see from it. The all-in potential. Oh, gank in the mid lane though.
C9 Evil JW. Oh my god, Acterion, are you human? He's going in with the last breath. He's not going to be able to get the kill because of the stopwatch, but he might try and follow up with it. C9 Evil JW on the chase here. Acterion has PTA procced on him. Acterion, buddy. Dude. Pal. Friend. That was great.
Yeah,
That was
that
really impressive.
ultimate was a little bit aggressive. Almost gets the kill onto Fevi. Does burn the stopwatch, so it's not a complete waste. The Yasuo ultimate cooldown is not too long. It is only an 80-second cooldown. It's not horrible. But the flash cooldown is a bit long, so it's a bit unfortunate that the flash was used.
Fevi's flash also is down, however. Exact same timer it would look like. So, flash for flash isn't the worst, especially because Acterion has not engaged with the last breath. Jaful going in onto C9 Evil JW with the ultimate, but instead the shockwave going down. Oh no, it's a double-pronged attack from both teams. Fevi on the back foot. They're being chased towards the enemy's bottom lane tower. Acterion going in, getting a two-man knockup, but not quite three. The knockup coming in from Rakan, but no, Caneman is going wild in this fight. Vespion, the last one alive for his team in this fight. I love her just staying mid as Caneman gets the triple kill.
Yeah, I love her was running down from the top lane. That TP advantage is something they were not keeping track of, and they were not paying respect to it. Oh my.
On to I love her. He goes for the shock blast, and that's the ace. Caneman able to get that unofficial quadra kill. He's showing us, he says, guys, I'm not bad at Jace. It was just an unlucky game. We've all had them. We've all been there. I've had several of them. I call that my entire solo queue career. But Caneman Z is showing us that he really knows how to play that Jace, getting 4 kills for his team.
Yeah,
Really
there's so
beautiful
many
cleanup.
things there that just went sour. Acterion windwalling after Zaya's feathers already went through. The blade collar was already used. If he would have turned around, used the windwall backwards, prevented it from the E from hitting him, maybe could have kept chasing on. Not having that ultimate because of that fight in the mid lane, and still forcing that play. Jaful using the quickness on only one target. You know, the shockwave landing onto 2 people was pretty good, but everything was just kind of used so early and so forced from Mute the ADC.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a sloppy fight, but really, you have to ask at a certain point, how much does sloppiness matter when you get a quadra kill on your top laner? Because I'm thinking not a whole lot, especially because everyone on the enemy team used their ultimates as well. Caneman Z going in 1v2, Vespion getting incredibly low here, condemning Caneman away. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Bartholomew Cow almost getting engaged on there. The follow-up from the Akali, will it be enough to take him out? It will be. Liarnal on the escape, getting stunned up by Moeta Sejuani, and he is dead for the double kill on I Love Her, which is so needed for him. He is down 50 CS and 4 kills.
Yeah, however, on the top side, they're leaving Caneman in a lane 1v2, and he just solo kills them. I mean, he is so strong. I think they disrespected him a little bit. It looks like they might have tried to fight him, and that is the first blood tower going down in that top lane. You really do need to respect that Jace, because he is so fed right now. With the Electrocute, with the Duskblade, he can 100-0 any member extremely fast. Even at this point, Sejuani, while not being the target he will want, he could still delete her in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, if that passive is down, she's in a lot of trouble, and it looks like we're actually going to see that exact scenario play out in a second here, possibly. Caneman looking for the engage. Oh my god, he's in the middle of 4. He jumps in, he's trying to get Vespion, but he gets knocked away, and he's going to get stunned up here in a second. No, the ultimate goes wide, but it doesn't matter. 5 men take him out, and it looks like they're going for C9 Evil next, and he got it.
He smited over the... Missmite from Moeta, and they don't even realize the Rift Herald isn't theirs.
Well,
that was very... Everything just went sour there for Mute the ADC. The Moeta missing the Glacial Prison means that they have to chase longer. And I mean, I don't even think the Glacial Prison was needed. It looked like there was 4 melee auto attacks onto Caneman, so the Permafrost, the Sejuani E, could have just come out by itself. We do see C9 Evil will get the Rift Herald too. It's not even denied. It looks like they might get a kill for it though.
I mean, he's dead for it, but that was so funny. I'm sorry, guys.
And it's not even that bad. I mean, you know, 1 death for Rift Herald, as long as they don't lose any towers, any more objectives off of that, that is definitely a decent trade.
And it was the obvious play as well, because there's no way they can stop it. All he has to do, as we saw, is just casually walk up. Oh no, Caneman just got the red buff and he's going into Moeta. Moeta no longer has passive, which means Caneman can start putting out the damage. The Thundering Blow gonna take him out, and it looks like he's gonna head top, try and get revenge for his soon-to-be dead tower, but he's gonna find himself in a 1v3 when he gets there. Will he be able to take it out by himself? The shock blast going to take Vespion down very low. Jafful getting low as well, but will he die? It doesn't look like quite yet. K-Man getting stunned into the wall with the condemn. Can he get anyone off of this? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Vespion so low, but survives and gets the kill onto K-Man.
Oh, great wind wall from Acterion. Uses it, pushes it through K-Man, and it looks like it blocked an auto and possibly a Q there. Definitely was enough to save Vespion.
Acterion is just playing
Oh, the flash?
the legendary 1v5 game.
Yeah, so I don't exactly hate what Acterion was doing here. He was just suiciding for the tower. It's whatever. He couldn't walk back anyways because the shockwave would have, you know, sucked him back in. So that is an okay trade, but then just wasting your flash for no reason. You're not gonna make it out of there. Don't do that.
No, but it looks stylish, and that's one of the important things, really. Style and flair are 70% of playing League of Legends. Actual macro and micro are the other 30%. Says nobody ever, because that was just not great for your team.
Yeah.
Anyways, Rift Herald being dropped here by C9
You know,
Evil
Acterion,
JW.
attack speed boots. I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
You don't really need him on Yasuo.
Yeah, you already opted into going for that Yomu, or sorry, the Phantom Dancer. You already have some resistances, you know, from that, some damage reduction. If you go for the Ninja Tabbies, you're gonna be taking a lot less damage from that Jace, from that Xayah, from that Jax. And if you opt into the Maw and build armor items instead, sorry, the Merc Treads, because of that CC, right? And Merc Treads aren't a horrible option either, because of the Jax E, because of the Xayah E. I do think the Tabbies probably would be more efficient here. Either one of them, I could see a case being made for, right? If you're gonna build armor anyways, you're gonna get like Randuins. You could say, I'm gonna get the Merc Treads here. You gotta watch out for this Jace damage though.
1v2, getting knocked up, Redemption going down. Will he survive this? I don't know if he's able to, but he is, and Jafful is not. Moeta in a lot of trouble, as is Vespion, and it's gonna be a 1-2 punch for this team, but Kaneman's not done yet. It looks like I Love Her is going in to try and get him, but he doesn't.
Wait, there might be a
before the
cleanup,
AD
though.
carry falls down. Bartholomew Cow able to survive those tower shots. And, wow. Kaneman, dude. Whew. Some pretty good play from him.
Oh my!
The 3, that was incredible, but the Monsoon, just as incredible. I Love Her in a lot of trouble. Acterion is going to be 2v4 against the rest of the team. He's going to save the knockup to stop the AD carry and the support, but C9 Evil JW jumping on. Looks like Acterion is going to keep fighting for a little bit. Exhaust going down onto him, but it's not going to matter at this point. That mid lane tower is in a lot of trouble, however, so I don't expect it to last much longer. The Infernal Drake is up. C9 Evil JW is looking for it. Can Acterion try and do anything to stop it? Moeta is on his way, and C9 Evil JW has started the fight already. But
Yeah.
it's getting kind of low.
Now
from
Infernal.
it.
Oh, this Infernal
Oh.
is a bit weird. Kaneman is TPing in the backside. We see
Oh,
Moeta
no.
stuck in the pit. He does have Smite up.
He's trying to get him, but he's not going to be able to. Vespion barely surviving. Kaneman trying to take out Acterion, getting knocked up. No last breath available. Kaneman going down and not able to get any kills. Moeta following soon thereafter. Bartholomew Cow looks like he wants to fight. I Love Her almost getting snared up, but not quite. He's able to survive the fight, and they disengage. Infernal Drake the second time going over to mute the AD carry. Sorry, Brains tells Mia.
Yeah, and
The team name speaks
speaking
for me.
about last game's Drakes, right? We mentioned that having that Infernal Drake with the 4 damage threat is so crucial. It's not 4 damage threats, but 3 damage threats that will really love an Infernal Drake that are getting denied this. And on the flip side, you have 4 damage threats that are getting it instead. Brain Cells Mia with the Jax, with the Jace, with the Orianna, with the Xayah, and even, you know, a bit Janna. Janna does build some AP depending on what her itemization is. That's going to be a lot of extra value. And, you know, denying it for the Yasuo, for the Akali, is really big. Vayne already has pretty decent base damages due to her W and just having attack speed. You don't really need as much actual attack damage, but those solo laners are really going to feel not having those Drakes in these skirmishes.
Yeah, and it's just, especially for Kane Man, that is just so great because he has all that flat AD, and that's what he really wants. I love her in a little bit of trouble, possibly. Kane Man not able to find him just yet, getting the Thundering Blow down onto him. This is the fight of the assassins, and I love her is on the receiving end of a lot of damage, but Kane Man is about to die himself. He's going to go for the to the skies, and he gets the kill finally. Oh, that was too close for comfort. If you're Kane Man right there, you're going to be wondering, how much longer can I keep this up? How much longer can I win these 1v1s? Because that one was really only won on the fact that the stopwatch was used at a weird time. And he was able to get into that bush without vision.
Yeah, and it really is a bit unfortunate. Think about if Akali had one of those Infernal Drakes instead of Jace having 2 of them there, right? That would have made or broke that fight. And, I mean, it does feel sour, but it is still possible to win.
Oh, this is a crazy... Jaful, buddy. Living up to the second syllable in your name there for a second. Oh no, C9 Evil JW going in with that counter-strike, getting the stun, and it looks like Acterion has already fallen. Moeta soon to follow. Vespion looking in a little bit of trouble. K-Man keeping going in with the damage. C9 Evil JW had a great stopwatch in that fight. I want to point out, it is 4 for none in that mid lane fight. One tower is going to go down. It looks like they're going to be able to get the second one. I love her needs to back out here, or he's going to be very toast. Not going to be loving anyone but the ground he sleeps under. Is this going to be the inhib tower? Certainly
yeah,
it's
it
not gonna
looks
be the
like
inhib
it.
itself.
Death Timer's Rakan is respawned. 10 seconds on the mid and the AD carry. Jungle is still up in 2 seconds. He will be up now. But, I mean, that is an inhib tower, or an inhibitor going down. And look at that damage with that double Infernal, with that 4 damage threat comp, with a Janna giving even more damage. That is just way too much to deal with. And I mean, they're fed, and we're seeing now how strong they can be with that 4 damage threat comp compared to last game when they got behind.
So my question to you is about Kane Man, because he's sort of the entire game right now. He's not his entire team. He dictates the pace of the game as well at this point. He's building Trinity Force. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't play a whole lot of Vespion just almost getting solo killed by Bartholomew Cow. Hypercarry versus Hypercarry. This is getting a little bit interesting here. Acterion getting stunned up by the Counter-Strike. This could be a lot of trouble for him. Shockwave going wide, though. Acterion going to try and kill Bartholomew Cow, but a great route from Bartholomew is going to stop him from doing so. Moeta in trouble now. Evil JW not going to be assassinated by I Love Her, but is going to get the stun.
Yeah, and that's 3 kills going over for none. And honestly, they might just run it down mid and try to look for the game here. Only the bot lane left.
Kane Man almost just died for nothing there, but quickness not going to be enough. They're going to go for the end here. He's going to take out Vespion, so there's only one person up. It is the support. There are 14 seconds on the mid laner and the jungler for the enemy team. But can Brain Cells Mia take the Nexus in time? 6 seconds left. Jaful does not have ultimate. He's going to get stunned by the Counter-Strike, and the Nexus goes down. It looks like Brain Cells Mia is going to be able to turn the second game, subs or not. This team is doing their best, and they finally turned it around. Kane Man decided, this game, you guys are sitting in my backpack. Bartholomew, you can sit back, buddy. No more Yi for you. I got it covered. And covered, I'd say he did it pretty well. Unfortunately, for the enemy team, mute the AD carry. Not having a great showing there.
Yeah, mute the AD carry. Just kind of not being cohesive, giving up objectives, and I mean, letting that Jace snowball. You can't just keep giving kills into him. That Jace had 12 kills at 22 minutes or so. At the end of the game, he had, what, 13 kills?
13, 4, and 6.
So, I mean, that is... You cannot give that many kills over to a Jace. He just gets out of control. And they needed their team to get kills, and, you know... If you look at their team comp, they can do okay in the mid to late game. They don't need to force things extremely hard, which they were doing. And giving over the double Infernal too, you know, Moeta had the right idea to try to go for a smite steal on it, but went way too early and traded 1-for-1 with Kane Man, but 1-for-1 plus an Infernal Dragon is not a good trade.
No, definitely not. And if you look at the scoreline, another... Well, really, the hidden hero that we haven't talked about a whole lot that game was Fevy, who just consistently stayed alive in these fights, 3-0 and 12, able to land a few shockwaves, whiffed a few more, but it doesn't really matter because he got the ones that counted, provided that utility, provided the damage for his team, and together they were able to just dismantle Mute the AD carry. That's going to end up the series 1-1. And that's unfortunately going to end the show matches for us. Just kidding. It's going to end it for a little bit, but that's just the player show matches. We have the legendary, perhaps infamous tournament coming up in a few weeks, but in between now and then, we have the coach show match, which is going to be next weekend on the 17th at 9 p.m. EST. If you can't remember that, because I can't remember anything, even my own name sometimes, you can hit the follow button on the Twitch channel, or you can look in the description, find our Twitter, find our Discord, find whatever you want. But if you don't care about the coaches, which you should, they work very hard, everyone. It's okay. The tournament is coming up the weekend thereafter, but I know I can't wait for that, and I know you probably can't either. Thank you for staying here with us. Thanks to everyone who stopped in to listen to us yammer on forever. Have a wonderful rest of the night.
Watch the broken shards slip away.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go collapse now.